Hello everyone, this is Rabbi Ari Sass coming to you with today's daily video counting of the Omer. Today is day number 45, otherwise known as Tiferet, Harmony, sheb'Malkhut Shekhinah, the Indwelling Presence of God. And as such, we're going to turn now to the teaching for today from Rabbi Min Kantrowitz's book, Counting the Omer, a Kabbalistic Meditation Guide. The harmony and balance of God's creation surrounds us, manifest in every leaf, every frog, every tear, every sigh, if only we pay attention. Rabbi David Cooper, in his book Entering the Sacred Mountain, describes such an experience. I began to see the creation anew, as if my entire visual field had melted and softened into a magnificent Renoir, and all my senses were bathed in the warm waters of divine harmony. Look around with all your subtle senses and recognize the harmonies of creation happening now, still. You know, one way you could take a look at this is to say, stop and smell the roses. But there's a very interesting Jewish commentary on that particular idea, which is to say you're not supposed to stop and smell the roses, because if you do, then you're taking your mind away from the learning of Torah, which is the primary job of a Jew, to learn as much Torah as possible. But what I take away from the conflation of these two different ideas is that there is lots of Torah, there's lots of God's teachings of wisdom embedded within all of creation. As Rabbi David Cooper had mentioned in that teaching brought by Rabbi Kantrowitz, if we're only able to change our field of vision, as if we're to soften our eyes to really almost see the world, that which is embedded within the world, but that is very difficult to see. I almost imagine it's like Neo from the Matrix, when he's able to really discover that he sees the Matrix as opposed to seeing what the Matrix has created. That our fields of vision change when we have a sense as to what it is that we're looking for. And at the heart of this day is that the world around us is full of not only just beauty, but of actual harmony. That when we see one element, when we see a second element, and we may think, and in one sense, our eyes see one and our eyes see the other, and neither of the twain shall meet, but rather that we have a field of vision that sees that there is a unison, that there is a connection between the two, and that harmony that exists in regards to a relationship between all these different elements of creation, that is something that we can see if our mind is attuned to seeing God's presence, God's Malchut Shekhinah within all elements of the world. And so my blessing for today, my kavanah for this day of the Omer, is that as we go through smelling the roses or go through our daily work, that our vision is changed so that we can see what God wants us to learn from those roses, from all of creation, to see the harmony of all that which has been created. And with that, we're going to turn now to the counting of today's Omer. I'm actually going to take just one moment. And we're going to get to the actual blessing for the Omer. I want to make sure that we get the date said correctly, so I apologize for the delay. We'll say the blessing together as we've been doing all this time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu al sfirat Omer. We praise you, Adonai, our God, who sanctified us with your commandments and has commanded us to count the Omer. Hayom chamisha ve'arba'im yom, shehem shisha shavuot, ushlosha yamim la'omer. Today is the 45th day of the Omer. And with that, I want to thank you for joining me for today's counting. Tonight, we'll be counting the Omer as part of our congregation during our Friday night Cantor Showcase featuring the unique Torah of Cantor Steve Zeidenberg, which begins at 8 p.m. here at Beth Mordechai, 224 High Street in Perth Amboy. And then we'll be picking up the counting the very next day online. Take care and all the best. Bye-bye.